Hello everyone, this is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald, bringing Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus their love reading for the week of July 13th through July 20th, 2022. As we get started here, as always, I like to introduce my decks. And the deck that I'm using today is, of course, the Light Seers Tarot, just because there is such an amazing amount of artwork within this. And so as I step into your energy, of course, Sagittarius, I'm really feeling as though there is a lot of shifting that's happening. I feel like you're going to be moving from a place of feeling as though everything is crumbling around you into a space of feeling a little bit more free, right? Free from obligations, free from things from the past, or maybe even free from patterns that have kind of been repeating within your relationships, and pursuing now into, you know, new patterns, new territory within your relationship realm, which is a great thing. So Sagittarius, we have today out of this deck for you, representing your energy, the Chariot. Dun dun dun. Love it so much. Coming in hard and fast, of course, with the Six of Swords, moving into the Four of Swords, with the Three of Swords. Yes, it looks like there's a little bit of a heartbreak there. Five of Pentacles, and then rounding it all out, of course, with this King of Pentacles, which is an amazing energy to be in because you're divinely protected and guided amongst this whole journey. I do feel like some of that heartbreak that's coming in for you, Sag, could also be some of your own doing, right? I feel like some of this is an expectation that you have placed upon a relationship, and some of it might have been a little bit of an unrealistic expectation, and maybe perhaps you knew this in your heart that that was never going to happen, and now you're seriously let down. I feel as though this is like an ultimate collapse. The energy that comes in, you feel like this has been this huge collapse. You feel like this great loss that's accompanied with it, and I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like it's like this loss, like this great civilization, right, has been like torn down, or it fell, right? Like the Roman Empire just fell. And I feel this in a big way because I feel like perhaps this relationship that you're coming out of now was something that has really shaped you into who you are today, right? And what has happened with that, it started off really, really good, and I feel like that's something that's been very beneficial for you, but I think somewhere along the way something happened and things started to go not so great, and so there's been a large amount of disagreements or arguments, and maybe you were getting things pointed out to where things could be improved upon, right? These shortcomings projected upon you, and then ultimately it ended up failing. But when you come in with this energy, with this Chariot and the Six of Swords, man, are you ushering into new times. And I feel like it's just new endeavors. You're really rising up, and you're quickly moving into something bigger and better. And I feel like this is something you know, to be mindful of, because as you're moving so quickly into something bigger and better, right, you're doing the work, you're healing through all of these things from the past. It's almost as if you know, you want to get noticed, right? You want to start to make waves, you want to start to stand out. There's this dramatic type energy that kind of comes in with that, and I think it's fun energy, right? It's almost as if there's this ostentatious type, you know, attention-seeking type energy, right? Where you might have a potential to get a little bit loud and boisterous, and it's just really, you're wanting to have fun and you're wanting to put yourself out there, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. But you're also, in a way, celebrating the fact that you no longer feel burdened by what was happening, right? Because that wasn't really a great thing. to be sitting in that energy, right? And so you're feeling free from all of these obligations, and now you have an advantage, right? And you know, this advantage that you've got, you might not be seeing it, right? Or maybe you weren't seeing it. Maybe you are starting to see some of those things, right? That key sitting there, that's your advantage. And so, you know, Spirit's saying, like, you know, be mindful not to fail to see that offer, not to, you know, fail to see that advantage, right? Now, this advantage could be an actual opportunity coming in for you, whether it is an invitation to go along with somebody to a social event. It could be an offer to actually go out with someone, a new courting experience. It could actually be, what I'm seeing is someone who's been there right with you all along. Now, I feel like there's someone that's within your energy that you have been speaking to, almost like a ride or die, right? Like this solid friendship that you've had for a while, and perhaps you've been talking to that person about some of these issues, things that you've been going through in this last relationship, and now you're getting into this space where you're starting to notice, like, is there potential here, or was I missing this all along? You see, as you start to rise up, so to speak, and you're moving on to bigger and better, you do the healing, you do the work, right? You get yourself out of a situation that's not so fun, right? And that tends to bring our frequency down. It tends to bring our vibration down. And so what happens is we're in our own space, and we can only have like limited viewpoints of things. When we start to raise our vibration, right, we start to rise up or level up almost. It's like we're living in a different reality. And so things in our periphery start, like our vision starts to widen almost. Our periphery, things in our periphery start to become a little bit more noticeable, right? And so we start to gain a better view of things. Our vision becomes a little bit more refined. And now this person's a little bit on your radar, and you're starting to take notice. And I feel like you're noticing because you're ready to be in pursuit of this paradise, right? So what does this love interest feel like or look like? Well, their energy comes in with a death and rebirth card, with a hermit card, and the 10 of Wands. Now, what I feel for your love interest is that they also feel a collapse happening around them. However, they're feeling this in a different way. The interpretation of that word collapse is different, because for them, the collapse is not within a past relationship that they have experienced that collapse. This is, for them, it's like this huge calamity all around them. Like within their whole world, they feel like the world around them is collapsing almost, right? With that death and rebirth, it's almost like new, there's new world taking shape around them, right? Like they're taking on a whole new insight about everything. They're seeing everything with new eyes. And so it's like things that were once no longer all that important have become like really important. They have greater significance to them now, right? And so the little things have now become important things, and vice versa. And so then I think that maybe perhaps now that could be a reason why perhaps love was on the back burner until now. Perhaps they never even saw this coming. And so, you know, I feel like there is a sense of entitlement maybe with this person. I feel like this person wants to sit upon a throne and kind of, you know, have others see, you know, things their way, so to speak. And so that's a little bit of a me first type of an attitude, and I think that that can create issues. And I think that that might also be something that at times can creep up within you, and I think that this is something that there is an ability within the two of you to rise above that. I do think that that can ultimately be overcome, but I do feel with this 10 of Wands, I look at this is someone who feels very overwhelmed. Now, somebody could feel overwhelmed with the death and rebirth experience, right? Going through some sort of an awakening. But I feel like this is more like they are just carrying a bunch of baggage with them. That's all I see when I look at this card for this person. And so, you know, I feel like there's underlying pressures with this, right? Maybe there's a whole bunch of expectations that have been placed upon them due to society's pressures that are now kind of, as they go through this death and rebirth experience, really being highlighted. Maybe perhaps there has been family that have been putting a lot of pressure on them to achieve certain things within relationships, within career, and now it's really starting to wear on them. It could be baggage from past relationships as well. So they have a lot of things kind of working against them, so to speak, that they also have to start to unpack, because they can't carry this up that hill, right? That next hill, that next relationship that comes along, especially when you're starting to pack light or see things differently with that rebirth, you're no longer going to be able to carry all of that and function and feel good, right? So this is just beginning for that person. And I feel as though it's more like the phrase that comes in, this can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen, is what I'm feeling with that. See, this person can bring a lot of baggage. This person can bring a lot of issues to the table. And while they were single, that might have worked for them. And maybe while they were an older version of themselves, they were able to kind of work with that, to drag that heavy baggage with them everywhere they go. But now it's time to unpack that, to heal it, and to move forward in a different way. And they know that. They've got a lot of work ahead of them. And it is a lot. So I'm not sure that this is the right time for them to open up that whole love realm and really be in it, to be in it. And I think as they start to unpack some of this baggage, their love and how they want to be loved and who they love, it's all going to keep shifting as they grow and heal. So I feel like it can bring a lot of turmoil if they were to try to maintain some sort of a relationship with someone in a long-term capacity and committed way. But I feel like, you know, again, this is going to create a lot of undue pressures. And, you know, if it's not your jam to kind of hang out and see where that goes, if you're really committed and really want to know where this is going to go, by all means. But if it's not your jam, you know that's not your jam, it could be beneficial to recognize and cut it out before it gets to a whole new level. And I feel like what I'm hearing with that too is the lyrics to that country song, Hard to Love. Like, this person might know that they're hard to love, and it's not easy to love them. So they could be working on some self-worth issues. This would not be a time that would be an ideal time to fall in love and to be in love with that person as they start to really get to know themselves on a deeper level, working through all of that. Overall advice, Page of Wands. It's all good though, right? It's all copacetic, because, you know, as though, even though this could be just like a whirlwind type romance, a short-lived romance, right? This person could be bringing a lot of charm. There's a lot of room for growth, and I think that it's all about you kind of getting in touch with what you feel would be a deal breaker for you, and understanding what is, you know, a personality trait and what is learned behavior that is able to be changed. And I think that this person might wheel and deal in a way that they're underlying behaviors of manipulation for their own interest, right? And it's inherent personality trait there. And so there's this whole part of that's not something that's able to be changed or to be worked with, right? That you don't want to compromise if you feel like, oh, I can change that, right? Because there's nothing that you can change about someone's personality. But you can, if someone feels that they don't deserve love, help them to work with that in overcoming that. That's an issue that they can work on and overcome, right? So it's all about understanding what is, seeing it for what it is, and then knowing what you want and what you don't want, and not settling for the in-between. And so again, just knowing what you would feel would be a deal breaker for you, and setting that firm boundary and moving forward. So thank you so much for tuning in to your reading today. As always, if you're interested in your own personal reading, I'd love to be able to do that for you. You can book a session with me on the square sites pinned below here in the description box on YouTube. If you're catching me on my Enchanted Emerald business page on Facebook, it's pinned in the description there in the top of Facebook. As always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon, and until next time, take care. Thank you.